Hey, what's up, guys? I am Frazier.
Hey, and I'm Sonia Fee.
And this is the Frazier House Podcast, the 2021 New Year special. How you guys been?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How you doing? Are you happy for the new year? You know what I mean? Because I am. 2020, out of here. Goodbye. You know what I mean? Just to get straight to it, a lot of things happened this year, man. You know, everybody's been through a lot. A lot of different things occur, and I'm sure it affected you guys the way it has affected us. So for this episode, we'll be going over a few things that affected us this year. And if you guys have been affected as well, just put a comment in there. You know what I mean? Let us know what affected you the way it affected us.
Yeah, 2020 you know what I mean? Was a staple in history. I don't even think some of our older generations have experienced anything like this. So right. It came at a unexpected but preventable moment for us. Right. And I think that it really showed a lot with how many people have adapted. And unfortunately, it's really had a detrimental impact on our population. So many people passed away. Right. And it just allowed us to really look into just the stability of our health, right, and the maintenance of how the government has supported
or not supported
right. us in these trying times. So let's get into
it. Let's
kind of talk. We're going to be covering a little bit of everything from entertainment to politics to what we have looking forward to in the new year 2021. Mm-hmm. So
let's jump into it. I think so. For now, the first topic we're going to cover is celebrity deaths. A lot of artists and actors, philanthropists, and a lot of people in entertainment has died this year. Starting off with Kobe Bryant, which was like a huge shock to me. I mean, I guess me and everyone else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like no one expected someone like him to like die. Like you know what I mean?
Wow,
like,
so suddenly and unfortunately. Tragically, it's such an untimely death.
Right, absolutely. Wow. Such a young guy. He was in like his early 40s or something like this.
And his daughter. And all of those who were on the flight with him.
Right. We have King Von. A lot of rappers died this year, which is surprising because, everyone should have been in lockdown, and still, people are dying during a nationwide lockdown. You know what I mean? King Von. Who else? Chadwick Boseman. Which was like, I couldn't believe that. Like that's the crazy. Black Panther is dead. You know what I mean? Like
he's no longer here.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like that one came left field because I've seen the photos with him looking a little bit slim and
malnourished and smaller, like he was. Really either intentionally looking like he was losing weight, but now it's been uncovered that he was sick and battling cancer.
Right. But that was left field. Little Richard died. I forgot about that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And John Lewis.
And although they'll never now be forgotten.
Right.
Because
absolutely.
of what they've been able to contribute to us.
Right.
And to society. But people who we really feel like will be legendary and live
forever.
Outlive all of us.
Yeah.
Really, it's just a wake up call that this year, 2020, has really proven how immortal or not immortal that we are.
Yeah. I think because it's so like
it's crazy.
It's a little, you have some people who died from the COVID-19 and you have some people who died from other situations, like Pop Smoke,
causes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being gunned down. But then you have someone like a Fred the Godson who died from COVID-19. You know what I mean?
Right. Then you go over to the extreme where Naya Rivera.
Right.
Unfortunately, because of I don't know if it was just an unfortunate event of the water taking her under, but it just is one of those freak accidents that no one can really explain. And with people with so much stature and resources, you would think that there would be, again, some type of protection over them. Yeah. But it just crazy year, just showing how no one is untouchable. No one is invincible.
Seriously.
From Kobe Bryant dying in a private plane crash to COVID hitting so many, taking so many lives to just freak accidents. It just really gave us the wake up call to appreciate life.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many others. We have MF Doom recently died.
Wow.
That's like a legendary underground artist. If you're really into like hip hop deeply, like that's one of the guys you should know. Sean Connery, Alex Regis, you know what I mean? Gosh. Alex Trebek, Betty Wright. You know what I mean? Like so many,
great influencers.
Those folks are a lot older and stuff.
Sure.
But still, like this year is just like this year was like a killer. Like it literally was just like taking people. And like I said, everyone didn't die from COVID, but the amount of people that died that we all knew and loved, added to the impact of what the year created. You know what I mean? And that drives us right into our second topic. The coronavirus and the elections was like crazy. I think this elections might have been the craziest elections ever. I mean, in my lifetime. I don't know if it's been one before.
No, the numbers have shown this has been the most influential election.
Yeah.
The most people came out to vote. With social media contributing to the platform and the resource that we use to get our voices heard, this election allowed a lot of people to come forward and advocate for their own rights, their personal views. It also shined a light on some of the troublemakers as well. Some of the Trump supporters who did nothing but antagonize and bully their way through the election.
But
and
they lost. Like,
they ended up losing.
It didn't even work out for you.
And we're actually happy that those threats weren't being carried out. And we're looking forward to a different change and a reform in our government. Hopefully with Biden and Kamala taking on those responsibilities and having our support, that there will be, different direction that this year goes into and a different term.
And give people those stimulus checks, man. Come on, help out a little bit more. You know what I mean?
No, seriously, because we can even go into how businesses and private companies are gone because they weren't able to maintain putting out services and producing products for their communities to withstand and maintain their bills. I'm very disappointed, for a country that we've been so proud on and that have been very active with commerce and being able to import and export goods. We can't even support ourselves during a crisis. It's
imagine
mind-blowing.
Considered one of the most powerful countries in the world, and in a crisis like this, a lot of people are left to suffer. I mean, there's literally 12.6 million people unemployed.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Still, the number is growing because it's a rolling effect. And this pandemic and hit on the economy only pushed a percentage of people who have the ability to actually make adjustments and create their own businesses. So it did birth a lot of millionaires. It did birth a lot of business owners as well. But because of not having the option to rely on our government just to help us through the crisis, it really did propel a lot of people to start thinking, how am I gonna adapt?
I mean, it's one of those things that I feel like because of this situation, life has changed for us forever. There's no going back to the things we did prior to 2020. You know what I mean? Prior to March of 2020, right? Whatever we knew before is done now. You know what I mean?
Never seen it before.
For 344,000 people to be dead, for 19.9 million people to be infected,
and for 12.6 million people to be unemployed.
Right? Those numbers are crazy. Like never heard of before. You know what I mean? And now there's a vaccine that's here. I'm hoping it does what they say it do. I'm hoping it can rid rid the COVID. from the world, because we're not the only ones suffering, and then there's talks of a second strand that's a lot more dangerous. So
I mean, speaking on the healthcare provider or the healthcare side and perspective of things, I'll be paying attention and just letting you guys know what changes or things that I observed from giving the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
However, it's really interesting just seeing how things have been rolling out, and we've been getting some good feedback on people taking the vaccine and trusting it and hoping that this is a way to combat and fight the virus. And then there's others like myself who are a little bit opposed to what the results will do for the long run and for the better. There's a lot more experiments that need to be done.
Sure.
And it comes down to which vaccine is actually more
Moderna or Pfizer.
Right? So which ones are the most effective and actually proving in numbers that we're being protected and able to have some type of immunity towards COVID.
Sure.
It's a shame that now that I'm thinking about it on a presidential level, that we're really putting a lot of pressure on our new president-elect to kind of clean up the dirty work that Trump has kind of left behind.
It's so interesting,
and he's still not ready to leave.
that you put it that way, because I feel like for most presidents that take the presidency, they're all burdened, right? Burdened with the responsibilities or the issues left from the last president.
Sure.
This one is a lot more extreme than recently, because a lot of presidents are the new presidents sometimes are left to deal with the wars that the previous president started.
Yep. Now this is an internal affair that actually obviously affected us on a global level. Universally, everyone has suffered. Every country that was hit by the COVID vaccine or virus. Now I think honestly I believe I read an article that Australia was the last.
What do you mean?
Yeah, the last country to be affected by COVID, and now they have a case. They have one active case, and it's still developing.
Wow.
Let's also talk about how many people are actually getting the COVID test and the screening done. So that also brought some of those numbers up.
Sure. Sure, because everyone's not getting tested. You know what I mean? There's some people that don't even know they have it, because there's no symptoms. Not everyone is falling out or getting
symptomatic.
So they it's a lot. These numbers are going to continue to rise as more people get tested. Which raises a good question, because if they're saying that you need to quarantine for 2 weeks, have these people only been affected for less than 2 weeks? Like, isn't it? You know what I mean? So it's funny. Actually, it's very interesting.
Sure. Yeah. It's actually just, I think it's a matter of, have they been practicing the necessary precautions to be safe, and what is actually the body doing to combat the virus,
right?
So people are still going to slowly return back to work, although a lot of children and a lot of Americans are working remotely from home. There's still many people who still have to go out. I'm including myself as an essential worker. We have to still leave the house. What are we doing to make sure that we're combating Corona? And it really does says a lot to even just going down to the grocery store and being exposed to a certain amount of people, and not knowing that everyone is asymptomatic or symptomatic. Having to quarantine for the 2 weeks is, to me, unfortunately, not enough.
Yeah, that's my thing. Because like now, for example, if you quarantine for 2 weeks and you're fine again, and then a month later you go and get tested for the coronavirus, will they find it? Right? What does quarantine do? Does it rid your body of everything? And if they test you, they won't be able to tell if you had it or not?
I think
what does it do?
I believe, because of the numbers, that the virus is actually very contagious. And it wouldn't be something that we would have to quarantine or social distance from if it wasn't a contact disease or a contact condition. So I think honestly it's case by case. I think 2 weeks is the amount of time that the CDC actually decided, this is how long it takes for the virus to metabolize or run through the body. But it's still very tricky because then now the entire environment, people are quarantining from work, even from their loved ones. So I don't think it's just enough to quarantine and allow the symptoms to subside. You are still a threat.
Right. And that's right. And that was my initial question. Like, even though you quarantine for 2 weeks, one, are you completely rid of the virus? Does it just dies and go away in those 2 weeks? Or does it just leave antibodies in your system that they can trace and say, hey, you have it? Or so, and if that's the case, right, what is the point to quarantine if you're still gonna have it? You know what I mean? So so it's a lot of bit tricky with the COVID, but I
think we're looking more on the upside with the vaccines.
I hope the vaccine just get rid of it, knock it out, so we can move forward with life and enjoy it again.
People are actually looking towards the vaccine to be the objective treatment. Otherwise, then we're just really returning back to normal life without any cure or treatment, or without addressing how we're going to eliminate or reduce the number. It's just going to be an ongoing thing. I also read another article saying that it may take up to 7 years for us to really get a handle and have some of the vaccines contributed and distributed to everyone.
Yeah. I mean,
7 years?
It's a lot of, I think that's a bit much.
I think it may be extreme, but not according to the amount of people that have passed away from it.
Yeah.
So on such a rapid
7
level.
years is a long time to, it's only about 300 million or something like that people in the United States. So I don't know. 7 years, it seems like a bit much, but
for us to have a handle on it.
If you
think about it, the flu has been around for
eternity,
very long, and people still can pass away and die from it. So with such a new disease, and actually only them trying to perfect the vaccine and actually see how people are responding or rejecting the vaccine, I think it makes sense. I really do.
7 years.
10 years is actually the number of years one would actually test medication.
Okay.
Being that we do a lot of research on new medications and new vaccines, it does take a while to see how it morphs and develops in the body.
Right.
So you can imagine a new disease that really is showing symptoms like the flu is still not necessarily they don't know the ins and outs of everything that the corona can do.
But I don't think like even though like you said, if it's going to be 7 years of trying to master and figure out and control this thing, it's not going to be 7 years of where we are now, where it's stay home.
Oh, no.
Right? So
I think we look forward to hopefully a future where we have this nipped under the bud.
Yeah.
Here's a pill, or here's an over-the-counter medication to take.
Just it'll just go away. It'll work itself out.
Your body will be strong enough to just fight it.
So, but I think for the near future, I think it's literally just wear your mask, get vaccinated, and handle your business, because too many businesses are failing, and this leads us into the next topic. With a lot of people out of work, without money coming in for entertainers, everyone's not making money right now. But what were your quarantine hustle? Yeah, you guys, what did you do during COVID if you weren't working?
Yeah,
how did
you contribute back to your society?
How did you contribute? How did you keep yourself afloat? Like I said, if there's no money coming in, how are you eating? How are you surviving outside of the people on unemployment that are still receiving those benefits?
For sure.
Or the people that are still working. Like I said, the numbers there, 12.6 million people unemployed. So what were you guys' side hustles like? I'm going to ask you, what did you do as a quarantine hustle?
Sure. I want to start off with the quote, if you're not useful, you're useless.
Sure, absolutely.
So if you were not able to at least find your niche or find something that was special to you to contribute back to society and actually be of productive, be conducive to those around you, were you able to maximize on a skill that actually directly helped your community?
Yeah.
I am an essential worker. I'm a nurse, and I knew that being on the front lines of caring for my clients and the public, I knew that there was a due diligence and responsibility I had to protect myself and protect others directly affecting COVID. But then I also took on some personal aspirations and skill sets. I, learned a lot more about the stock market.
Right.
And I'm doing a lot of different trading and exchanges that really opened up my eyes to see how the United States operate.
Yeah,
Wow.
For sure.
I've taken on braiding. I've always wanted to learn the skill. And something like that really does take a little bit of time to just, a lot to kind of, master the skill and get better and stronger. And, it's something that I've always wanted to do. It was on my to-do list, but when you're so busy, you really don't have the time.
Get into fun.
2020 slowed that down.
Slowed it down.
And allowed us to kind of get that,
absolutely.
Self-care in. And, this podcast.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, like for me, being home allowed me to work on music a lot more.
Create.
Allowed me to create. I actually started streaming. Underworld Lord. Like I started doing that. We started this podcast.
Yeah. Skills that we weren't really able to embrace or maybe even
explore or had the time to nurture it and turn it into something. So the quarantine allowed us to
birth a lot of different
ideas that you've had, but not the time to do it. I've always been into the stock market, but now like I can wholeheartedly say I'm a day trader now.
For sure.
Like and I'm not just saying it because everyone's talking about Forex online or
no, you're pretty good.
Like I do this for real. I give you guys some tips if you want it. But those were my hustles. They're still my hustles. I'm still doing these things, and I'm probably never going to stop it. You know what I mean?
We do have 2020 to thank.
2020 to thank for the opportunity to
be able to nurture our creative ideas,
execute different things that we had in our mind and wanted to do but never had the time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But what about you guys? What were some quarantine hustles that you started that help you through it mentally, maybe help you through it financially, emotionally,
Did you have a skill that you already have and then actually use the pandemic to incorporate? For example, I enjoyed sewing, so it was always a goal for me to incorporate how to make masks and help out the community in that way.
Absolutely.
How did you allow this pandemic to work out in your favor? Because for us to experience on a global level such a tragedy, did you make the best out of it, or were you unfortunately, a victim to, a loved one passing away or depression? Oh my gosh. Not being able to even see some family and friends for months on end,
It can break your spirit. Like something like this can definitely put you in a place where you don't want to do anything. You know what I mean? And I mean, I've had days like when it first started and trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I'm like,
adjust?
What the hell is going on? What do I do? You know what I mean? How am I going to get some money now? How am I going to survive this thing financially? How am I going to survive this thing physically? You know what I mean?
Sure.
How often do I want to go outside and run the risk of getting it?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So those things.
Second guess, is the gym really a safe place? When we were able to observe, the contact that everyone's having with the machines. We're literally putting ourselves at risk to try to help ourselves get healthy. This is this and was this smart? Or even just support systems. How were some of you guys' support systems, and how did it hurt or strengthen your communication with family and friends? Did you utilize or teach your grandmom and grandpop how to use FaceTime? Did you take the risk and visit them because some of them needed care? Did you have some family move in with you due to the pandemic? What was your experience?
What was your experience? What was your quarantine hustle? Put it in the comments. Let us know. We would love to hear from you guys. But let's jump into topic 4. Let's get into some fun stuff. It wasn't all just sad and misery for everyone. You know what I mean?
It was still some good.
There were still some good times. You know what I mean? Artists were still releasing music. So our question to you guys is, what were your top songs for 2020? I have 3. She has 3. We're gonna give y'all our 3, but we would like you guys to put your 3 in the comments as well. But I guess I'll start off with this one. So my top 3 for this year was Pop Smoke, Dior. Rest in peace to him.
Rest in peace.
Life is Good with Future and Drake. It's funny, I didn't really take a liking to that song when it first came out. I don't know. It was, I don't know. I just didn't like it. I think
it's like a Drake type of, thing that happens where his hits may actually be so good that it's either the radio plays it out, or what was it for you? Was it too trendy, too catchy?
I don't know.
Typical?
Because it's funny for me. My favorite part of the song is Future's part, right? The Drake part was dope too. The lyrics was what was good. Excuse me. For the Future part, I like the swag on it, the bounce of that part of the song, the beat and everything was like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is
cadence
fire.
Cadence was cool.
The cadence was dope. Another one for me was Emotionally Scarred by Lil Baby. That was a really strong record. I think that's the record that made me realize that, damn, this kid is really good. Wow. A Bigger Picture was another good one. I mean, that's like, I'm past my 3, but I just want to mention it as an honorable mention. You know what I mean? But Bigger Picture for Lil Baby, that's 2 Lil Baby records. But those were my 3 right there.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Like I think like I can now listen to those songs over and over and over. And I think in like 2025, when I hear those songs again, it's like, classic. Yo, that's the 2020 songs. You know what I mean? COVID music.
Right.
You know what I mean? COVID music. So, what were your COVID music? Your 3 COVID songs.
What was your top 20?
What got you through this crazy day, crazy month, crazy year? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What about you? Where are you going with this?
For me, I wish I could choose songs. And I know we were going to, really stick on songs, but they were projects for me.
Okay.
Because they were bodies of work that, really just coincided together. Mm-hmm. But Tiwa Savage really released some great music. Mm-hmm. Dangerously in Love.
Okay.
Dangerously in Love was a great song by Tiwa Savage. Okay. And the visuals were actually pretty interesting because they reflected what we were going through in 2020.
Really?
Which is the fact that she shot her entire video on an iPhone.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because she's been quarantined.
She was quarantined, so she was not able to collab. Yeah, wasn't able to collaborate with her, videographers and, her normal crew. So, it actually reflected in her performance or her what she was able to produce later on. When some of the restrictions started to lift a little bit,
right,
you could see her really put those visuals in her song Olay and her other song Koroba. But while she was still adjusting to, while the world was adjusting to the quarantine, you can see kind of like the improvisation that she did with the iPhone, and
which is pretty dope. You have to in times like that. I mean, you just got to figure out, okay, I got to keep doing what I'm doing. So you figure out ways to make it work, which is dope to just do it on the phone and get it done, get it edited by someone that can edit real nice,
right,
keep it pushing.
Right, but people still manage to actually even I heard of a photographer making edits and kind of directing his clients on how they should pose in a certain scenery. So a lot of people were able to kind of get a lot of work done virtually. Yeah. I thought it was amazing to watch that because to put that motivation and drive and thought process that there's nothing that's going to stop a creative or someone who's very passionate about getting their services out there and being compensated for it. Like, that was great to see. Instead of mentioning a song from both Burna Boy and Wizkid, I'm actually going to mention the song that they collaborated on Wizkid's project called Ginger. And it was a great hit. I mean, both projects for both Burna Boy and Wizkid, both their albums were really great. It's unfortunate, but great that they released it on a year where everyone could sit down and take the time
and take it in, right?
To take
which
it
is
in
another
and listen.
Important thing.
So a lot of artists, movie some movies that we'll be talking about next also was able to capture our attention because we were home.
Right.
And not,
what's so interesting about that too. I think another part of that too, for the artists that put out music that we were able to hear and fall in love with and stuff. There were also a lot of artists that got lost in those type of shuffles, meaning that a lot of underground artists, with the bigger artists now being quarantined, and either they're forced to just put out stuff online and get TikTokers to dance to their stuff and keep those type of things moving. I didn't hear much of underground artists. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really hear much of any underground artists.
I don't think I have either.
Shining through
like
this time.
Like they usually would, releasing their EPs or
a lot of artists got buried because we're so confined to just having to look on social media, and people tend to just look to the celebrities.
Yeah, the mainstream artists.
People, you know what I mean? And then, but one beautiful thing that, I don't know if it didn't come out of quarantine, but it was a magnifying glass was like on it like this, was the versus battles. You know what I mean? Very important. Timbaland and Swiss Beats did a great thing with, keeping people's energy going during quarantine with the battles.
A concert goer like me, and like you as well, needed the verses. We lived for the verses.
Absolutely.
It brought a lot of people together again on a more mainstream level, because people who didn't go to concerts now could actually watch some of the shows from home.
Yes.
It was very nostalgic for a lot of people who followed the artists, and it gave a lot of tribute to those artists who released music either 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
The opportunity to relive and revisit and actually increase their streaming numbers as well.
After every battle, you would see that like, Beanie Man's records are now up 30 or 3,000%. Every artist got that opportunity to let their music be heard again.
For sure.
And like you said, nostalgic, and bring you back to a time where you might have heard it, or if you haven't heard it before, it's like, what song is that? It's fire. Let me add it to my playlist.
Definitely.
So Versus definitely added.
Shout out. That was an awesome, wonderful, creative idea from Timbaland and producer Swiss Beats.
Yeah.
I think that was amazing. I think it was needed for the culture. We all needed it.
What's up with Ashanti? You disappointed us. Let me get right to it. Everyone,
you ruined our night, our Saturday night. Okay,
everyone was up and ready to watch that battle. I feel bad because she caught COVID, right?
She caught COVID, and I don't think that's something that anyone should be judged for or necessarily be held accountable for. But her activity and her movement back and forth didn't really help her. Her traveling and maybe not honoring some of the COVID restrictions and travel restrictions probably increased her chances of contacting or contracting COVID. So it kind of, allowed, some social media to play on that.
You ruined our night, woman.
Listen,
we
really prepared.
For real.
I needed this verses after Brandy and Monica and all the other great verses. Oh my God, Snoop Dogg and DMX. One of my favorite verses.
My favorite one so far is Gucci Mane and Jeezy.
And my least favorite one was Too Short and E40.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see that one. I saw bits and pieces. I didn't get a chance. But did you guys see it? Like how was the E40 versus Too Short versus? Put it in the comments. Let us know. You know what I mean? Like,
could we have lived without it?
Could we have lived without it? Or did we miss something really good and legendary? But let's jump to the next topic, guys. Also, quarantine allowed us, me as well, and I'm sure you guys, to stay home and just watch and binge a lot of shows. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And for me, Netflix was the thing. Illegal movie website was the thing.
And honestly, let's actually try to accredit that because it was difficult. Not being able to go to the movie theaters really did put into perspective.
Not illegal movie websites, alternate movie websites. I don't do anything illegal. Right. But anyways, go ahead, man.
No, it really did give us the opportunity to like really watch movies from home, and from our own comfort of our home settings, and be entertained. But it did do a lot of injustice to some of those actors and the movie producers, because
a lot of things aren't
real
getting,
numbers.
And it's funny, we was having a conversation. I know we kind of strayed away from the topic, but we're gonna get back, guys. Just want to point a few things out real quick. I felt like I don't know if you guys noticed, but we kind of noticed that this year a lot of movies with black actors were coming out straight to like Netflix, straight to Hulu, straight to Amazon, and it made me wonder if this was a normal year with those films. Either have the opportunity to go into theaters, right, or did the big film companies use this opportunity to push out all the films with the black actors? Because they rather just not lose money on a Marvel movie and just like, hey, let's just put out this movie we had sitting in the back to keep things going, right, so we can save our blockbusters for next year.
Wow. And that was an unfortunate observation, and it's a likelihood that that's what happened. They didn't want to actually roll out some of the greatest movies that we've watched this year in theater to actually save.
Yeah, they rather
and not pay out their actors.
Not even pay out. I think they rather save the movies that they deem that are going to be blockbusters for next year, and just like, hey, we had this movie with Amari Hardwick that we've been holding. Let's just put it out during COVID. Right. You know what I mean? And we could be wrong, but that's what I think. But anyways,
should there be another way to compensate a lot of these movies and music on these streaming platforms, where if they get a certain amount of views, they deserve, and it's equivalent to the same amount of movie ticket sales, definitely.
I mean, I'm sure there's a system. There's a system for that. I'm sure that they have a system for that. And I mean, these actors already been paid for those movies anyways. I'm not sure what their royalties on the back end is, but let's get to your top 3 movies or shows for 2020. What are yours, man? What do you have?
So my top movies and shows, top show we would both actually say is Power.
Power, yeah,
absolutely. Having them roll out the new season and show us, hopefully you guys have already seen it, so it's not a spoiler alert, but Ghost dies. Right. And that's crazy. I don't know, there's too many shows or movies that we've watched where they kill off the main character. And it still is thriving. Yeah. So I would definitely commend the female director and author of the movie, of the show, writer of the show, that she's doing a great job. So
Courtney Kemp.
Yes, Courtney Kemp, still captivating our attention. Right. She's definitely allowed the other actors to take on significant roles to where you almost forgot that Ghost did die.
I don't, with the new season with Tariq and Mary J. Blige and all the other actors, I don't miss Ghost. You know what I mean? I don't have that sense like, oh man, like I don't want to watch it anymore because he's gone.
In other words, we're also saying that you guys are doing an amazing job, and it's
you're holding your own.
Well played.
Without Ghost, for Power to be without Ghost and Tommy is like wow, like I'm still enjoying this show without those two guys there. So good job. But what are your other two, either movie or show? Like what else did you enjoy?
Another show that I know that we're both heavy on was Lovecraft Country. Yeah. And it was another show that really highlighted how the black actors needed to have a better recognition in their art. Yeah. And I have no bad reviews, nothing bad to say about the show. It's amazing. It was a great way for actors to kind of dive in, and black actors to dive into the sci-fi. Right, the
sci-fi superhero type of world.
Love it.
There's not too many of those But that was a great show. I love Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
What is your
Awesome.
third one?
My third one, would this be, it's actually an old one. Are we able to mention old shows?
Yeah, I think it's whatever that worked for you during COVID. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to come out in 2020, you know what I mean?
If that's the case, then thanks for putting me on to The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Woof. I love The Walking Dead. I've
been missing out, evidently, apparently, for all these years.
10 seasons later, man. 10 seasons later. It's like 10 years. But yeah, that's a
we were
great
able to
show.
binge on it because now, there's a lot of time to kind of catch up on old shows. And Netflix have been rolling out older shows.
Right, because it wasn't always on Netflix. I think it just got there during this year, actually. But for me, there's a movie called Spell with Amari Hardwick. I think I saw it on my alternate website. Yeah, there. That was a great movie.
It was good.
That was a great movie. Project Power with Jamie Foxx was another black superhero. Like, it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it.
Triple threat again.
Did a great job,
awesome.
boy. Definitely.
Do you want to mention Black Box?
Black Box was another one, alternate movie channel. Yeah. That was another one. That was a really good movie. Another black cast, all black
it.
cast.
The concept was awesome.
The concept of that movie was like, remind me of Twilight Zone. I'm a Twilight Zone fanatic. So I love that one. That was another great movie. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out.
Definitely. What were some of your other favorites?
My next one would be The Mandalorian. I'm a Star Wars guy. You know what I mean? That's my thing. So for season 2 to come out, I had to see it, and they introduced like a baby version of Yoda, and so it was like really dope. Everyone online was like memeing him with the cup of tea and all this crazy stuff. So those were our picks for our top movies or shows. What was your top movies, top 3 movies or top 3 shows of 2020? The shows that kept you going, kept you sane, you know what I mean, and not losing it. But please put it in the comment, let us know. Hit us with a like too, man, and hit the notification bell so you know when this episode is coming out, so you can actually chime in.
We have some great episodes coming up this year.
We have a lot coming in for 2021. Stay tuned. But let's run into the next topic, which is something that we all indulge in. I feel like 2020 ushered in so many new technologies, new ideas, new hustles.
Right.
There were, I think, specifically 3 social media platforms that wasn't so used as often or like on the forefront,
but then made its real debut.
That came and pushed to the forefront for this year. Newly, Clubhouse. Let's start with Clubhouse.
Oof. They did good with this one.
Clubhouse is if you don't know what Clubhouse is, it's a platform where you can get into different rooms and you can talk with people pretty much.
Yeah, you're creating your own chat rooms and you're able to discuss.
Just talk and discuss whatever the topic is or whatever you want to speak about. I started, I joined Clubhouse. And I had a few conversations in there. Some of them were pretty good. Some of them were like, hey, I'm getting out of here. You know what I mean? But I think what Clubhouse is right now and what it can be, can be used to market yourself.
Definitely.
It can be used to, build relationships with people you probably we will never have a conversation with in life because you wouldn't see them.
It definitely was a game changer.
Game changer.
I do believe that this platform was a new innovative way to kind of bring life to just Instagram photos and captions.
Absolutely.
And then videos too.
Right.
Instagram is a great platform still to exchange information, but to be able to have real conversations with real people from anywhere around the world and exchange just even the lingo, being able to speak to a Black British citizen, or just anyone around the world and hear the different accents and exchange information at a much quicker level. I think that really added to the feature.
Yeah, I think it's a great.
It also shows a lot of teamwork and respect.
Right.
People talking over each other
and
or
you have
moderating.
To moderate it, like, you know, one mic, you talk,
raise your hand.
Raise your hand to speak like it's a classroom. You know, technically it's like what it is. It's like everyone in the class and you know, everyone's speaking, and but you know, you moderate it, you get one person to speak and then someone else answer. You know, a lot of celebrities are in the room, so you get to speak to your favorite artists, or
hear them talk about
speak
whatever
about
they
certain
want
things.
to discuss.
You know, their rooms discussing real estate, stock, different hustles,
videography and artists and creatives coming together, sharing their experiences, literally exchanging resources to better help their production and their creativity. It's just amazing. It's like getting on the phone.
But what I hope doesn't happen with Clubhouse, I hope that it doesn't become a place where, you know, there's illegal activity being discussed. There's selling of sex being discussed, because there are already I'm hearing a little bit of rumblings of illegal stuff. You know, Clubhouse is like the new thing that's going to get black people locked up.
In which way?
In the way of imagine someone going into a Clubhouse room and saying, yo, I got, you know, I'm selling whatever. I'm selling pills. Hit me, bong, bong. You know what I mean? You know, people are using it for those purposes.
Abusing it already.
People are using it to sell sex. People are using it to scam. People are doing those things. But I hope that don't become the general overview of what that platform is. Because guess what? The feds are always listening. You know what I mean? Don't think they're not in those rooms listening to what's going on. They want to hear some stuff, and they want to find out who's saying it. You know, but Clubhouse it's a really dope platform. I hope it continues, grow, and gets better, and more people get involved in it. It's a good place to talk with people, stay sane, you know, stop, you know, get out of quarantine mentally, right? Because physically in the house, but mentally you can have a conversation with someone somewhere else, and you know, kill some time and get you into a good space.
Definitely. Also look out for how we plan on merging the podcast on Clubhouse as well. Absolutely. We want to hear you guys in real time. So that'll be cool. Stay tuned to have a Clubhouse channel. So we'll keep you guys updated with that one. Another app, I think it was cool. I don't know if everyone used it, but I thought it was cool. The Reface app. Tell me more about it.
So the Reface app is an app where I believe it has like specific scenes from movies in there, and you can then scan your face and then have your face be put on the actor in those scenes.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Like I've seen Snoop Dogg use it a lot.
Awesome.
What's the who else? I forgot this actor name, but yeah, Snoop uses it a lot. Like if you go on his page now, if you go to Snoop Dogg's Instagram, you'll see like he's done refaced everything possible to reface. But it's funny, it's cool. That, like I said, it's something to do in a time like this. It keeps you active, keeps you creative. You know, it creates some entertainment for people that just want to go and scroll and see some funny shit. You know what I mean?
It brings out the creative actor in you too.
Yeah, you know, it makes you engage because now you can now download the app yourself and create your own refaces and, you know, get creative and fun with it. I think another app that was really good this year and has continued to get crazy is TikTok. TikTok's not going anywhere. We had the threat that it would be banned. It was going to go away. Nah, TikTok isn't going nowhere. It's here forever. You know what I mean? You know what TikTok does, and the entertainment and the fun, the challenges that it has created for families. Like I said, it keeps people from just sitting home twiddling thumbs and losing their shit. You know what I mean? Like having some fun. Like every day there's a new challenge, a cool challenge for, you know, kids to do it, parents, family to do really together and unite and have some fun. Definitely. You know what I mean? Like I think those are the three major apps that help me and may help you guys get through this COVID and this pandemic and being quarantined. Definitely. You know what I mean? But if there's any other apps, you know what I mean, you guys let us know. Let us know. What apps are we missing? Because those are our three, but there's so many of them. You know what I mean? If you know some, put a comment in there. Let us know. Put me onto it. I may be missing. We may be missing something. I'm interested. Let me know. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, but just to add something in there, for all the creatives and people with ideas, this is the time to create some stuff. If you have an idea for an app or something like that, put it into motion. You can be one of these top 3 ones.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And this is the time to think, broaden your mind. Like I said, I graduated from YouTube University. Anything I need to know, any questions I ask, I go find a video and I get my answers.
Do your research.
Do your research. Yes. It is out there. Or go to Clubhouse, talk to somebody. They might have experience in that.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So yeah, get on your hustle and do your thing. Next topic is my favorite topic. You know what I mean? My favorite video game or favorite console for this year.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X came out this year. Yeah. Like it's funny, man, because businesses had so many plans for this year.
Yes.
And COVID says, this is your plans, slap it off the table. What plans? You know what I mean? So, but no, Sony and Microsoft did what they can to get these systems to us. Even though it was a struggle, there's a lot of people who still don't have these systems.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Even just curbside pickup at Best Buy,
man,
changed the game. You couldn't even walk in. And
too dangerous. I mean, when I went to pick up my Xbox, I parked in the curbside spot, and the guy came to the car and said, "Hey, man, our manager told us not to come outside. You got to come inside." Because it was too dangerous for the workers to bring that box to me.
Literally, people were, afraid of getting
robbed, shot, or whatever it was. I'm alive, so it didn't happen to me. So, but to get back to what I was saying,
your experience.
I still enjoyed buying games and playing games. I mean, actually, I did it more now than I did before. Like I started an entire channel.
Follow him on Twitch.
Follow me on Twitch, Underworld Lord, and I'm playing games Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes Saturday there. You know what I mean? But for me, my favorite game for this year has to be Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Could not stop talking about it, but
absolutely.
I see why.
You know what I mean? Like
it's a good one.
I watched so many videos of clips on YouTube months before preparing for this thing, and that was my favorite game. I still love it. I still play it now. I'm streaming it now on my Twitch show. Come through, check it out, talk with me, vibe. My second is Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm laughing because if you go online and even type in Cyberpunk 2077, it's nothing but hate. Like people have been waiting for this game for about 8-9 years. I think maybe a little bit longer than that. Okay. But the game under-delivered. There were a lot of bugs. The graphics was shitty. It did not work properly for PlayStation 4 or Xbox X. Is it X? No, Xbox. Whatever the Xbox is. I don't play that. I'm a PC guy. But anyways, it worked horribly for the last gen systems. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. It worked okay. It was a lot of issues. So. But it was still one of my favorite games because I enjoyed it.
Yes.
When I got it, I'm like, shit, I'm loving this right now. My last game would be The Last of Us 2. That shit was fire.
It was lit.
It's like playing a movie. Like you're playing a film.
I love it.
It was a great game. She saw me play a little bit of it.
You might have seen me cameo on the back.
Yeah, exactly. Streaming and she's watching. So. Like I said, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk 2077, and The Last of Us 2 were my 3 favorite games. My favorite system for the year is I'm a PC guy, so it's my Alienware Aurora R11. I'm a PC guy now, man. I love my systems. I have my systems, but PC is king, man. I believe you guys now. I didn't believe it before, but I believe it now. You know what I mean? But let me know, gamers, what were your favorite games of the year?
Crash Bandicoot for me.
She plays Crash Bandicoot, so that's her thing. You know what I mean?
Childhood favorite, now is still an adult favorite.
Still adult favorite. You know what I mean? But let us know, what do you guys like? What did you play? What did you enjoy? What system were you able to acquire? Are you liking it? Are you hating it? Let us know what you're thinking, what you're feeling when it comes to the games. Put some comments in there. Let us know. But we're going to wrap this up on a real good note today, because now that 2020 is done, what are we gonna do for 2020?
Moving forward,
2021. That's a little bit so accustomed to saying 2020.
I know.
I can't even get
and
that.
Still referring to. I mean, we're not the only ones that refer to this year as last year.
As last year,
the first week.
Yeah, it's a new year now. It's 2021, man.
We're in
Forget
2021.
the 2020 thing. It's 21 now. Good riddance. Goodbye. What are you guys gonna do for 2021 that's gonna be different? How are you gonna improve your life? Because we're still on the quarantine. We're still locked down. Businesses are still going under.
The ideas and the wheels are still spinning.
The wheels are moving.
How are you executing your goals?
How are you executing? Like, what are you planning for this year?
For this year, definitely kind of strengthening up my skills as a nurse and, furthering my education.
Okay.
Get, of course, stronger.
Sure.
Trading on the stock market.
Absolutely.
As well as, kind of just learning from you because you've been doing pretty well.
Right.
I've
been doing all right. Not well. Don't come looking for me, nigga. Don't come looking for me. But yeah.
Eating cleaner.
Yeah.
Kind of still maintaining the same goals that were already set. But, there's nothing like paying enough attention to and reflecting on how you performed the previous year. So I am still a fan of New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's corny. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to approach a new year, especially after the year that we've had, and remaking history and hoping that there's certain things and tragedies and experiences that we experience hopefully don't repeat itself moving into the future years. So if there's a business that you can start that can actually help avoid the financial hit that we've gone through, then do it and explore it and become your own business owner. Like a lot of people have. How about you? What are some new ventures that you
for me
plan on to?
I'm gonna continue my channel. I'm gonna grow this channel. I need to have about like 50,000 subscribers.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend who knows a friend that whatever, man. Just subscribe, man. Come rock with your boy. I'm going to continue to build my channel. We're going to continue to build this podcast as long as you guys support, show us some love, and let us know what we're doing right or wrong, and grow with us. You know what I mean?
Give us feedback. We want to hear. We want to know.
I'm going to eat cleaner, man. I need to stop this chicken and all this extra.
Eating vegan and being a vegetarian. I miss that.
It's time to get back to eating cleaner and going to the gym and getting a little belly from being home eating and
some of it was by choice, but we were able to eat a little bit better because we were more intentional.
Anything that's going on that isn't going right is COVID's fault. I would not take any responsibility at all for anything. You know what I mean?
2021, now we're ready to get back focused.
And I'm just going to continue to get better at day trading because that's probably going to be my bread and butter outside of the podcast and everything else that I do. That's getting better at trading, and I want to actually teach some people who want to get into it. So if you guys want to learn about trading and how to trade and things like that, put some comments, let me know, and I can probably do a video and do a little walkthrough and show you guys or whatever the case is. But working out. I need to work out and eat healthy. That's where I'm at with it.
Working out during COVID was really to me very sketchy and scary because again, we're now going back into communal areas where we can contact or contract again COVID from other people. And then there's a new strand,
you know what I mean? So
it's like the flu, it's morphing into its own thing and representing itself and reintroducing itself to our body. So our bodies needs to be in shape to be able to combat,
fight it off,
build up our immune system. So we've been finding improvising ways to just work out at home and be more mindful with what we eat, and just pay attention to what COVID has actually done and literally do the opposite.
Yeah.
Take your vitamins.
If COVID is going that way, you go this way. Hey, facts. You know what I mean? But what are you guys gonna do? We love to engage with you guys. So let us know, what are you guys gonna do for 2021? How are you gonna upgrade your hustle? How are you gonna eat healthier to fight off this damn thing that's killing us? You know what I mean?
How are you gonna maintain your mental health?
How are you gonna maintain your mental health? How are you gonna figure out a way to still build your future with the tools that we now have, because the tools are a lot different. Maybe, before you look on your tool table, it's like 10 tools. Now we only got about 3 tools to work with, but we got to figure out how to make those 3 tools work.
Or maybe you have a whole new office setup or a whole new entertainment setup where you can also create your own podcast and your own streaming platforms.
And you're trading. You can, so depends on where you at and what you want to do, but let us know where you guys are, what you're trying to do for 2021. But we'll be here. So as long as you come through when we're airing and when we're live, notification bell, like I say, come through, we'll talk about it, we'll go back and forth, and let's kick off 2021 right, guys. I am Flo Frazier,
and I am Sonia Fee.
This is the Frazier House Podcast. Happy New Year.
We're looking forward to hearing back from you.
Absolutely.
We are back, better than ever.
Yes.
Just look out for our content.
Enjoy. Have a good night. Peace.